Yes, that's right. We are back again with another Below Deck Med coverage. I am your captain, Sasha Joseph. We're gonna take you through it all, but of course, we are missing our chief entertainment officer. Chappell is out frolicking around in New York. So, like we said, if you see him, get him a shot from that shot wheel. All right, it's time. And of course, in the meantime, I'm joined by our provisional bosun. Jason Orch is here. Welcome, Jason. How are you?
What's going on, Sasha? I'm so excited to be here talking about Below Deck, a show I just got into. Today, I'm going to be doing, my best Brooke impression as Chappelle as Kyle. So I'm here just filling in for this one charter, but I'm excited for the ride. I hope to have fun and to learn through this experience.
Yes. And for folks that don't know, Jason, him and I podcast together over on Silent Podcast. We cover Survivor South Africa. So, when Laura was talking about African and all of that, I was like, me and my co-host, we got
I
that.
thought the same thing.
I know. And we used to talk about the amazing race, and we be around these podcasting streets, is the point. So if you want to know more about Jason, go check out Silent Podcast. He's a podcaster there. And obviously he'll get into everything. And also, before we get started, there is going to be the FEMA emergency alert system going on around our podcast. We have turned off our phones, so we believe we'll be okay. But if not, vibes only, baby. We don't want to keep y'all waiting more and more. So hopefully nothing goes off. And if so, we'll just do a quick mute. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And if you are freaked out by what's going on your devices, now you know why. It's all freaking out. But anyway, let's get through some quick admin stuff. We're at 169 reviews. Oh my God. Thank you, everyone. We're trying to get to 300, and let us know what incentives you'd like. We've already had Chappelle dress up in togas, right? So what's next? Maybe budgie smugglers, maybe merch. I don't know. Let us know what you want to get us to 300, but please leave us those 5 stars only. We're super appreciative of all of it. And with that, Jason, how are you feeling about Below Deck Med? Caitlin in the chat already says yes, the season's a mess. There's so much happening.
Well, and that's why I love it. So, like, full transparency, Sasha, and
Yes.
everyone watching and listening to this. I just started watching Below Deck like 3 weeks ago. So I am brand new. I'm a new yachty. I'm still learning about everything.
You're very green.
Yeah, I've been trying to watch some old seasons. I watched an episode of The Down Under, and that made me want to go all in on this season. And I am here for it. I love the drama. I love the mess. I also love the geographical diversity of all the staff. I think that's really cool. And they get to go on adventures and travel the world. I see why you love this so much. It's like the Amazing Race, but on boats. And
Exactly.
And I just want to hang out with these people. Like, can I be their friends? But I feel weird just following them, or just, they're not influencers, they're not celebrities, but they're just the best well-known yachties around.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool, right, about all of this is that they really get to do their work and then also like be an influencer with all of it. So we'll see. I have no idea when you'll be friends, but when Chappelle and I go to BravoCon hopefully next year, we'll put in a good word for you.
Oh, I can't wait. And I just want to hang out with them, like I said, and party. Like, you and I and Chappelle have all had fun on boats before. So I'm thinking about that when we're watching these episodes of the mini yacht that we were on. So.
Oh my God.
And Ty, of course.
Everyone, we just got really drunk and missed our timings of everything. Vibes only. And we are those people, is the point. So of course, I think without further ado, let's get into it, because we don't have a lot to get into, but I think there's a lot of fun. And Morgan says in the chat, yeah, they're so impressed that Luca is actually good at their job, which I agree, right? Because I was like, this is the hot guy coming in, vibing out. He deserves a bosun, methinks currently. Will I eat my word? Maybe. I don't know. But for now, I'm very into it. All right. So let's get to the Italian Riviera, everyone. We're thrust into breakfast time. And Chef says he hates breakfast, Jason.
This was amazing. Many chefs I know also hate breakfast because they're staying up late cooking, preparing food. They don't wake up early to eat breakfast. And as we saw in this episode, everyone likes their eggs differently. I don't even know what over medium eggs are.
Okay, honestly, yeah, because so for folks that don't know, Jason and his family own now restaurants.
That's right.
So that's why I was like, no, you're the best person to talk all of this through with. And they said medium over eggs was the request. What is the reason?
I think they wanted to be difficult. You know, they've been eating at Michelin star restaurants, 20 Michelin stars.
Yeah.
You know, it's like our reviews, 5 stars only. They are eating at the best places, but are they eating eggs there? Like, what's going on? Give me a fried egg sandwich, avocado, bacon, like
something, right? Like it's giving high maintenance to be high maintenance. And again, it could just be production being like, yeah, ask for not because I've heard of over easy and hard.
Definitely.
But baby, what is a medium? Y'all wildin' for this.
And like, I'm not a big egg person anyways.
Yeah, same.
So like, I like frittatas. And so I thought he really, you know, bounced back making a quiche later on. That was the easy. There's only one way to make that. The eggs can't be undercooked.
Ooh, so Morgan says, didn't know over easy medium eggs were an American thing. Over easy, I think I've even heard in India, but I don't know that medium is the one that's really throwing me off.
Over medium.
Yeah, over medium. Like, what? It's not steak. So, but the point is, they didn't like it. All right. They were like, chef is really good, but needs to work on breakfast. And chef is like, I literally don't care. Like, I know all of these things. I've worked at all these Michelin star restaurants, but boy, don't give me a breakfast.
But I love that it motivated and fueled him to make this incredible, like 6-7 course dinner. Like, I actually thought he made such a big dinner so he wouldn't have to make eggs again the next morning. That they'd be like so full that they would just skip breakfast.
Yeah, because the EDM party starts at 1:00 in the morning. Yeah. You know, we're grandma and grandpa, so like we not making it to 1-0.
No, I couldn't start eating dinner at 10 p.m. Are you kidding me? That's what I kept thinking watching this episode.
Oh my God. I think a lot of Indians, at least the ones I know, like do eat late dinners. Like that feels a little normal, but boy, not on a boat. But the problem is I think these guests are struggling, all right? Because they are yakking left and right.
Oh, bless. Like, this was a surprise to me. Like, first of all, I have to acknowledge, like, I'm not a big water person, but those waves looked so rocky. I would have been freaking out. But like, do other people get seasick? Like, is this a thing that happens all over the world on the show?
Yeah, we've definitely seen different versions of this, and we've seen a lot of like, oh, are they drunk? And that's why they're throwing up. Or is it like actually, you know, seasickness? We don't know. But nah, that guy Nathan, I think was his name, was in hell. All right. Y'all, it was so bad that they actually needed to go on a dry land to like get rid of their sea legs. Wild.
I felt so bad for them because they had to ride on the tender, which looked way worse than the yacht. I mean, it was shaking so much. And I just like Nathan, that poor guy, he must have puked the whole way to shore.
Yeah. Did you see the shady like 23 minutes since puking?
Oh, I missed that. Oh, bravo.
Yeah, bravo for real. It was so funny. I was like, why are y'all doing this? This is so messy. This did happen to me, I will say. For my bachelorette, we were on a big cruise. Not like an actual like like carnival cruise.
Not
like it was like no. But we were in Mexico and we rented a cruise and yeah. I went down because they were like, let's go scuba snorkeling. I cannot swim. But
you're a big water person though.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, can I just like float with my life jacket like this and then just drag me? And they said, no, can't do that. Well, why did I come back up? Me and my 2 friends, Yak City, just constant. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. But it's okay. Then they played music and we were fine. But the point is, I feel this pain to pay money and then just like be keeled over. It's horrible, but it's fine.
Yeah, I liked seeing them explore though. I thought it was fun watching them go in little shops. I thought they were going to bring something back for Captain Sandy because she's friends with the primary. You know, something to be like, we know this has been a rough day.
No, no, they're
He
not
just
that
left a tip.
nice. Yeah, exactly. He's like, you'll get your money. And we have seen again different versions of folks going on to shore for
Okay.
excursions, for shopping, for a dinner, right? Like they do. I love when they do dinners at forts, like at sunset. That's like
Oh.
one of my favorite things. I know it's like really a bitch to set up, but I'd rather do that instead of beach picnics where you really get like a nice view.
Yeah, because I've been rewatching this old season. I think it's season 8 with Kate's on with Captain Lee. They took
Oh,
them to like a
class.
lunch in a cave because
Yes.
like Kate thought looked so good, but then there's bats in the cave. So that's what I was thinking about seeing them go to shore. Like, are they going to be eating? What are they doing?
Yeah, no, it just seems like they're like, we just need to get the hell out of here. Please. ASAP now. All right. But it's fine. All right. They made it and then they come back. I just feel like production, I beg of you to stop with the disgusting zoom ins and effects
Yeah.
because I don't need to hear the yakking. I don't need to see the yakking. I don't need to see up people's skirts. Like, stop. Right? Like this too much. And that is from jump. Like for years been my problem with
Oh,
Below
okay.
Deck. Is just they go a little too hard on the like it's not even B-roll, just like the amigo sound effect. Burp, 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 like
Just give
that.
us more drunken fights.
Thank you. That's all I care about. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once our girl Norma came through or didn't and said, "Listen, I do have an update on a deck crew. I have an experienced deckhand that's ready to work, but I don't have a bosun." What were you thinking? Like it's curtains. What's gonna happen?
Well, I was immediately thinking, who are they going to bring back from past seasons?
Right.
Is it the few people on the one other season I watched? Like, who do you think it's going to be? Like, it's got to be someone we know, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be, but it might have been leaked, so I don't know. So let's see.
But
I can't remember. Chat, can y'all remind me if there was a leak? I can't remember if this season was the leak
and
because I
as that,
know something about a
yeah.
Chief Stew, but that's for next season.
Ooh. Well, as that was happening, and Captain Sandy's like, start setting up the floats. They're coming back from the island. This is when I got so impressed with Luca being like, that Norma doesn't need to get anyone else. This guy got everything set up. He's motivating his team and he is calm as a cucumber. Nothing rustles his feathers. And I'm so impressed with him. And I think Captain Sandy noticed that because like I saw that one episode with Joao.
Yeah.
I would say his temperament is the exact opposite of what Luca's given in these 2 episodes.
1000%. All right. It's gonna be crazy. And with that, we keep moving and we keep pushing until yeah, Zen, I just don't want to be giving fake news. That's why I don't know if I can give it up, but
Well,
maybe
Sasha,
toward
yeah.
the end.
Another thing I just want to compliment
Yes,
Luca is
please.
he got this promotion, right? Like that's where you're going, right?
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Sandy brings him in, he gets promoted, and the way he accepted this promotion, he showed no emotion, he played it cool, he didn't brag. She said, "Go tell everyone," and he didn't. And that just to me shows his leadership, humility, and he's super fun. So like this is such a well-rounded guy. Like he's probably going to be the next Bachelor.
Yeah, he's hot, right? I think they need a new Gary. So this might be the like less problematic version of Gary because he's really hot. He's down to hook up with whoever, but he's good at his job. Captains love him, right? Captain Jason is the recommendation. And then now, of course, Captain Sandy is like, "No, I really trust you." And I think earning Captain Sandy's trust is not a joke. It is, like I said, even last episode, easier for the deck crew to get in her good graces, but I just feel like he did a really great job and the way he's managing the team is really great. The girls really seem to enjoy him. It's not like they're just like, who's this guy, coming in and trying to lead us. Like they genuinely like him.
And he has a great vision to see how far something else is. And that was something Captain Sandy kept complimenting him on. So I guess like is he so much better than the other bosuns that are on this show? Or is this like, to me, that's like a minimum expectation they have to be good at to do that job?
Well, Rue was like vibing and he's
Rue.
like, yeah, it's 50 meters. And Luca's like, no, it's 100. Double. Okay. And again, spatially, I'm negative. So I don't understand why this is how bad Rue was, but maybe his fake yacht master,
But I
taught
did
him
see
otherwise.
online, his story's mostly true. His friend did pass
Yeah.
away. I saw this news article about it, so I feel bad for thinking it was all a big scam and a story he had concocted. But wishing him the best. Hopefully, he can find a new career.
Yeah.
Glad
Or,
he's not on
like,
the show though, because Luca's way better.
I know. Or just like get your license and stuff. You know, just like I hope that he's maybe able to go through the right channels, not the, you know, mess that he was
The
going
one-day
through.
school.
Exactly. Oof. And again, I already like last episode, I kind of went through everything you need. It's so rigorous. It can't just be like vibes only in Monaco. Like, I didn't know. And Caitlin asked, do we know why Malia isn't back this season? You haven't met Malia, but I believe, according to her social media, and from what I was looking up, is like I think she's just like living her life and not really trying to be on Below Deck. She did get a good amount of hate as well. So I think all of that compounded together. She's like, let me just do my own thing and live my life. And, you know, snitches get stitches. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, we have a new bosun. Again, I am very excited for this. I think it's gonna be good. He was great last season as well. Like not the drama we don't want, but all the drama, all the hookups we do want. So Luca and how is it? My question to you, Jason, right? Is it gonna be just Luca and Natalia or more?
I think way more.
Oh,
for both of them. Natalia's in this open relationship. There's only 2 guys on the boat. So, I mean, Luca can hang out with them or anywhere they go. People are going to be attracted to their whole group. They are,
yeah,
you know, they're all good looking. That's, I think,
so hot.
A pre-qualification to go on this show. But I think Natalia's one to watch for. I think she's going to be having more adventures than Luca will this season.
Yeah,
Based on her texting, I mean, let's be real.
1000%. I also believe that there will be probably more guy, like Kyle is gay, so I don't believe, you know, any of the girls are hooking up with Kyle. So and Kyle's married, also that. And so I think the deckhand has to be a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like just for some more hookup mess to happen. Otherwise, it's Luca and maybe Laura, because eventually we do get a Laura soundbite in the night out cab. That's like, I love turning straight girls. I was like, girl.
And she looked to be having a lot of fun at the bar.
Correct. Okay, they were bent over as they should be. As they should be. All right. And then let's also get through a bit more of like the work stuff, and then we'll get into the mess. So, can we talk about the propeller? So,
wow. You mean the prop? So they kept saying the prop, Sasha.
Yes,
and I actually thought they meant the inflatables, like the props that the guests are playing on. In my mind, it did not even think of propeller. And then once she said that, I was like, oh shit, I'm an idiot. Like I'm so green. I've never seen this show.
You're new. You're Brooke for real.
Yeah, I'm just Brooke.
Your dad owns Sprout?
No, but he owns Seabreeze Fish Market and Grill located in Plano, Texas. Gotta get the plug in.
God. I love this. Here's the thing, all right, everyone. I think this was amazing, right? Laura like sees the lines and she's like, oh, the lines are super tangled. I got to do something about this. So she alone first jumps into the water, does a little look around, and then comes back up. And then she gets Haley, right? Just the other deckhand, and starts her dive. So before I give her props, no pun intended, how can you do this without telling the captain?
Well, and the way she was so urgent on the mic, I thought something was wrong. And because she's like, Jessica, or Haley, come help me right now, right now. Yeah. I was like, what's going on with Laura? Is she okay? And she's like, I just need you to watch me in case something happens. Laura is a beast. She doesn't even need to tell Captain Sandy. Like, oh my God. She could conquer the world.
Yeah, 100%. Laura is so good. I appreciate it, but I just personally was like having heart palpitations because what if, you know, we don't know what Sandy's doing or what Luca's doing. Like, what if they're like, let's check this one thing, and then that thing goes on? Because we've seen people get taken by the lines off into the water before. So
Oh,
it's that's why I think my heart was like, no, no, please. So what? Yeah, again, badass, right? To just go underwater like that, get everything untangled, amazing. But like,
and how are Sandy and Luca going to react when they find out? That's what I want to see is like, when is this going to come up a few episodes from now when they're all drunk talking and Luca as the bosun having fun with his coworkers has to stay calm? That's where like, I can't wait to check his
yeah.
temperament in the future episodes.
And Sandy, like this stuff really bothers her. So I can't wait. Again, I think it's gonna be all's well that ends well, but I think this is strike number not fully strike, but this is like a warning number one for our girl. But either way, we'll see. I'm very stressed out, is my point. But again, Laura, mega badass. All right, we love her. And with that, dinner also goes well. Like you said, courses on courses on courses. And Nat even is like, listen, shots on me tomorrow. Thanks for all your help. I see you flirting, girl. I see you.
Well, let's talk about Nat. So,
Yes.
in addition to her trying to do this flirt game, the way when like Chef was telling her the courses, she was like squiggling lines on paper because they kept, and I'm like, she's gonna mess this up. Like she is said it and unintentionally, but she executed it perfectly, except
So good.
leaving the party. But up until that point, she was like really in her Chief Stew mode, and I could see her as a Chief Stew the way she was navigating that dinner.
Yeah, and this we've also seen from her last season where she's really just she's organized, she's really smart, she's able to navigate and it is adaptable, right? Like those I think are Nat's like best qualities. Like Natalia really excels under pressure in that way. And I personally appreciated that she had all the plates laid out with post-its on them. Just such a small touch, I bet you, that goes a long way. And the chef had forgotten what he'd said, right? Like Jack was like,
That was
what
wild.
did I say? And then she's like, let me look on my phone. I have a picture of what you were saying. That I think is what gives kudos and gives like points for a chief stew with the chef, because we know mega temperamental people. So I really appreciated all of it. And then now let's talk about the EDM party. Okay, so Haley gets asked to do decor. Haley said nah. Like what Haley couldn't do anything.
That's how I would be setting up for an EDM party.
Yeah. Listen, y'all, Jason and I actually know each other IRL for 10 plus years, and we work together. So, and we've done technically parties or events together. And this is me, when anyone asks me to cook, this is how I am, like Haley, right? Where I'll just be like, what should I do? Like at one point, Jason and I was being so unhelpful, rather, that we had chicken water literally fall on us before an event. Like we were washing chicken.
Yeah.
And it just
it's the good old days.
Yeah. So it's a mess is the point. And so again, I just in my heart understand it, but I'm good at a lot of other things. All right. So Haley, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I see Caitlin put in the chat, like, yes, that's what I thought too. Jessica says I'm the follower, and I go to raves. This is what I do. Let me do. But she didn't speak up. She just vanished in her anxiety from what it looked like to me, overthinking the wine. And that's when I just was really doubting Nat as a leader, because she left her team without giving them instructions. She left the guests who love her. They were yelling her name.
100%. I think she was really good at it. Jessica was, right? Like she was saying all the dishes, she was pronouncing them really well. She was just hitting every mark. And then I think it's the internal. She's a first follower. She's not a leader. Again, I don't mean that negatively. That's just the reality. So she would rather, I think, be up. And Nat, I think, was actually being a good leader to say, no, you're excelling here. So I'm going to push you a little bit more. And
I saw that as her being bad at delegating, because she couldn't trust them to decorate the party. She thought she had to be the one doing it when all she had to do was booze up these guests.
100%. I think you both can be true, right?
Oh,
I think it's very much we get from her, right? She stayed up really late and then gets up really early. She's working on 4 hours of sleep, coffee's in her veins, right? So you're correct. I think that Brooke was supposed to show up and help decorate, and Brooke was slow in the cabins, and then I think just like took the L there. So now I was like, I have to do it myself. That's the only way it works. So yeah.
But I died when she poured the wrong wine. And the guy, like Tito,
That
I
was
think his name.
Brooke. Yeah.
It was Brooke. I felt so bad. And I'm like, dude, just
Jessica
drink it.
allegedly told her.
Yeah. It's like, there's
Yeah,
tons
to
of
do
wine glasses here. There's tons of bottles. Just drink it and have fun. Like, who cares if it's and he's like, oh, you like red blends. That killed me. Because I would say that to someone like in real life if this
Me
happened.
too. I would be like, just get over yourself. Like, shut up. You've been drinking so much. Who
All
cares?
day.
But I'm not a wine snob, so like I don't
Yeah, me
know,
neither.
and I'm not a connoisseur. And for like Thundercats asking chicken water question mark, yeah, like we were washing it,
When there's a lot of
and it was
frozen
soaking.
chicken, and to
Yes.
defrost it, you pour water over it to expedite the defrosting process. So as we did that and we're trying to move the pot of water with the chicken and to strain it, the whole Sasha's so strong, we're together, the two of us, we dropped the water all over us. We both had to go home and change, come back, finish cooking because it wasn't done. Thanks our old coworkers. And act like it was completely normal. Like, imagine how these chefs on Below Deck would act if someone did that in their kitchen.
Can you imagine, right? Like no help. This is what like Gary gets mad about. Like interior always asks for help, blah blah blah. That's the vibe here. Anyway, and yeah, Caitlin, I agree with you, unfortunately, where I felt like Brooke was so useless. Wasn't she the one that didn't know how to fold socks?
Yes.
That is her. And
Or sheets.
yes, because I keep going back and forth, right? Like, could we get all the good stuff Brooke did do that, like, wasn't just be a warm body? Because I know sometimes it is easier that if you don't have to stop and teach someone when you're in high stress situations.
And she seems fun. Like, I think she's a good, a
Yeah.
good person for the show, but I think she was also really overwhelmed with all these big personalities. This big boat also, I think would be really intimidating to go on for the first time and falling in the background, knowing she's going to get replaced. Like, no matter how great Brooke does, she's not staying.
100%.
So I'm there for party.
Yeah, Brooke is like vibes only. Just like get me on the show. Let me get my tip and leave, honestly, is what it felt like. Anyway, it's 3 a.m. Flashing ice cubes with thumbs up. And that is it. It's docking time. And this is where I think everything goes to hell. All right. We're docking. Everything goes well. We're about to pick up the anchor. And there's a cinder block.
With a dead body.
No, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, where's the body? Why is there a cinder block just vibing out in this sea?
Right? How did it get there? How did it get to their boat? It wasn't there yesterday, was it?
That's what I'm saying.
When Laura swam under.
Did Laura see I mean, I know the propeller and the anchor are not the same, but did we see a cinder block? What happened? Just horrible. And I just appreciate, like, I wonder if there's a body attached to it. Stop it, Captain Sandy.
But Luca stepped up. He went in the kitchen. He got the bread knife and was hacking the thing off. I was dying watching him look so proud of himself riding on that boat back into the yacht.
Oh my God. I really appreciated Luca. Even when he was driving everyone on the banana boat, he was killing it, I feel. So he would just appreciate it. And also, the slide is usually a bane of their existence. So I appreciate that it was left up overnight, that they didn't have to constantly do like
with that crane
pack up and like all of it. And they had a crane, which I think is mega helpful compared to just how painful it's been in the past. So that also really is well. Anyway, everything goes well. Captain Sandy says deck's a pleasant surprise. Breakfast also is good. And then it's, time for the guests to leave. Crew was incredible. And we get a chunky envelope. First tip of the season, $20,000, baby.
And it was a thick envelope. So I've seen about now 7 or 8 Below Deck episodes.
Yes.
This was the thickest envelope based on the length of the charter for me. They were only there for 3 days and they left 20 grand. I watched this other one. They were there for 6 days and left 16 grand. So I'm like, Sandy's going back to her doctor. She doesn't need to find a new one.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say, I think it was great. It is down to $1,800 per person, dollars wise. And I think we've seen more, like we've seen 30K tips and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah. Um it, I can't remember what the highest tip was, but yeah, we've seen 30K. But here's the thing. I think the smart thing is to do it in 20s. So it looks
yeah.
really thick, your envelope. And yeah, with that, again, work is done, everyone. We got it out of the
They
way.
worked hard.
All right. And they got there I think, again, did really well. It's time for the flirt mans. All right. So, Natalia is struggling, I think is the nicest way to say it, with the concept of her open relationship, right? It m- monogamy isn't for everyone, and who gives a shit? It doesn't need to be for everyone, but it feels like and Natalia says this, right? Like she's half agreed and half like trying to get her head around it. That was driving me crazy.
Well, me too, Sasha, because she said, I loved this guy before I loved this type of relationship. Like, if they had been together and developed such love, wouldn't they talk about this before they start officially dating? That's what I
Yep.
could not understand. And I feel bad for her because, like, she keeps texting him.
And says, I love you.
Have you been with any other women? Though these are the back-to-back texts she's sending to her boyfriend at home.
And it's like, would you want to know? I don't know.
And she keeps asking.
Yeah.
And then says, no, don't tell me, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I don't think I would sleep. I couldn't. Ain't no way. I'd be like, this charlatan is out here in these streets. The thing is, again, everything just has to be consensual. It doesn't matter what your relationship is. Who cares? But it has to be consensual. And to me, it feels like at that moment, it wasn't, because it doesn't feel so nice. And yeah, Caitlin says, I love you after 4 months
Big
of
red
dating.
flags.
Yeah. It was giving too much for everyone, and I think it's not gonna end well. But
Well, let me
either
ask
way.
you this, Sasha, because
Yes.
Nat's brand new to me. I haven't seen her on previous
Mhm.
seasons. Do you think she wanted to go into this season being in a relationship? And then when she was, shooting her shot with this man, thinking about it, and then right before they left, or who knows how long, when he
Yeah.
shared this information with her, he's like, by the way, like, you want to be in a relationship still? These are my terms, take them or leave them. And because she wants to be in a relationship on the show, she doesn't want to be going flirting with everyone. But I think he kind of gave her a deck of cards she has to play now.
Yeah, her and Storm, did not have the best,
I've heard
good
about Storm.
moments on the show. So I understand that, but then don't put the clown makeup on yourself. Just let it be an open relationship. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. It's happening over there. You don't need to share that with everyone. The fact that she's sharing it doesn't make me agree that I think she only wants a boyfriend.
Because it
For
pretty much
name.
froze Luca when she told him she was in an open relationship in the middle of them flirting. So he didn't react, I think, the way she thought he would.
Yeah, 100%. And it's all that to say, she's, a little bit flirting, right? Because she comes out in her towel and says, do you know where the shampoo is? Yes, girl. Yes.
You work in the interior.
No, you gotta do you know where the shampoo is? Like, you gotta use everything you got, okay? If you're trying to get Luca. And Luca likes it. Luca likes
Definitely.
it, okay? And Luca's like, yeah, I'm happy to have some fun, blah, blah, blah. And then they get to the night out. Okay. And Laura is basically describing Nat as her type, right? She's like,
Yeah,
I
right.
like girls that, dress like this, that have a little purse on, that have these earrings on, that have the shirt on. But girl. And
Shoot
Nat
your
is
shot.
like, is it me? Am I the drama? And then she's like, I love turning straight girls. I was like, what the hell, Laura? What you
Right.
about, girl?
Well, and that's not her boss. So
No, it's fine.
yeah.
It's just Nat is hitting on your boss, so that might get messy later. And then
love triangle.
yes, and then your favorite topic is being discussed in this Flirt Mans, right? Because Luca and Natalia are now talking tattoos.
Yeah.
She's like,
And
every girl has a tattoo on her butt.
is that true, Sasha? Do you have one of those tattoos?
I
Did
have
any of
no
your
tattoos.
friends?
No.
The love heart?
No, I don't have any tattoos. I'm a
But
baby and I get over things easy, so I couldn't have a
but
tattoo.
Luca was game and hard. I thought he's like, oh, one day I'll see it. And the way Nat clocked him, and he's like, oh, I mean, in the jacuzzi when we're all hanging out as a team.
That
Good
was
recovery by
so
him, though.
smooth.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, that was too smooth. He
And,
got
but
me.
and then she decides to say, Sasha, well, I'm also in an open relationship.
I was like,
You think he
yes,
wants to see
girl.
her tattoos anymore?
Yes. He hooked up with a girl that was in a relationship with a deckhand just last season.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh,
God,
Mans
go
is
Luca.
all about bro code until he isn't. No, like Culver is like there, like this, and then Luca and Jamie are kissing. And the
I
next
can't wait to
morning,
watch that.
everyone's like, wow, I can't remember what happened. Yeah. No. She says, I have lust for Luca. Yeah. Yes, girl.
time.
We know. It was since he walked on to the boat. And I will say, I think Luca's just eyes are so pretty.
Yeah.
So I get it. And I think that's why she's questioning her man so much. Because it's almost like she just needs the okay.
But I think she's also interested in the chef.
Ooh,
And she's going to start flirting with him too, more.
I think on Watch What Happens Live, yeah, she says like they're friends for life, but I don't know what that means. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm keeping an eye out for that.
Exactly. Caitlin says like Luca gives big F-boy energy. I think everyone knows that he does, and I think that's why it works for him. Because you almost
he's so calm.
Yes.
That's
and I
the
think
thing though.
Yeah. And you almost like expect people that look like that to be F-boys. So you're just like, whatever, it's fine. I think there's a way. If there's ways to deal with F-boys, you just gotta match the energy. You can't get caught up in a blender. Then you're gonna get screwed. In many ways. Then what? So don't do that is the point. And yeah, before we move on from the going out, Caitlin, I agree. I loved the ladies' outfits.
Yeah. Can we also, we're at the club, they're partying, right? Can we talk about Haley?
Oh my God.
Before we leave the club, because that shocked the hell out of me.
Say more, please. Lead us through this.
Well, she's barely, she hasn't been that vocal on the show. She's a really hard worker. She wants to be there. This is her career. These are the things we know about her. She gets dressed up. She starts drinking. And then all of a sudden, she starts flashing everyone.
Girl, live your life, right? She was
Own
like,
it.
hey. And then
no one asked. She's just unprovoked, living her best life. I think she's loving the tip she got. She's excited about her squad, the rest of them. But is she going to do this again? Because if her drunk tendency is to flash them, it's going to happen at the next places they go.
100%.
Right? I mean,
and the thing is she going to hit on Luca? And is that going to start drama there? Let's see.
Could be the long game.
This girl, yeah, she's like, do you like what you see? Because then let's figure this out.
And she just like stood there. Like she pulled her top up, and like in New Orleans, other places where flashing is more publicly acceptable, they pulled her shirt up and put it right down.
Right. Get your beads. But
she didn't get no beads.
No. Again, girl, I think she is such a vibe person. And I would not do this, but I find girls like that to be so fun. Like I would love to hang out with her. Just because it's just so silly. The new deckhand though, which someone did say in the chat, Zen said in the chat that that Natalie asked Captain Sandy if the new deckhand was male. Yeah, sorry. And that it was it's gonna be a boy. So let's see.
And who's he gonna be rooming with? Luca?
Mm-hmm.
Or Kyle? Or does Chef have his own cabin?
No, Chef the Chef does not have his own cabin. Okay. So usually I think Chef and Bosun could room together. There was so much room shuffling that I can't tell who's in whose room now.
Well, I know Nat and Luca's rooms are next door to each other.
Yes, that's
I made sure that.
Very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think Nat and Jess are probably sharing because they're now third and fourth stew. So Kyle and Tumi might share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because both the deckhand girls might be sharing. Ooh. Also, side note, I'm keeping an eye on Haley and Laura. Oh. You know what? Sassy since birth. Thank you
Could
for
happen.
checking the
Yeah,
heteronormativity. Because you're right. It's
definitely.
probably that. Because they are so into each other, like as friends, like emotionally, like they're in it. Also, lolly, please. on, on the days before they hit our knees, I'd have been flashing too. If you got the body and you don't flaunt it, I feel like I want to fight you. That's all I'm saying. So, with all that, again, I think the rooming situation will be messy once Kyle comes on. So we'll see. Yeah, Kyle and Nat definitely are not sharing. We've been known. They will not. And now, all right. Whew, everyone, take your deep breaths because it is what you're waiting for. Tumi has made it, baby. And I was in heaven. I'm like screaming, fist pumping. Tumi's here. Oh my God. Immediate mess, immediate tension.
I was blown away by her. My first impression, I just heard her name last week, saw that little video shot that they showed.
Yes.
She is everything. And also
Thank you.
humble, where she said, I can't believe I'm the chief stew on a boat like this. And that shows how much
Mhm.
she appreciates the journey. She trusts, and is grateful that Captain Sandy chose her. But she did not blink, I think, as soon as she walked onto that boat. She was observing everything. She knows the lay of the land, we learned, because Kyle filled her in. But I don't think
Yes.
Kyle needed to fill her in based on Natalia's body language. And
Agreed.
her style of communication, Tumi could have known nothing about her and acted the exact same way.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the thing, right? I just feel that there isn't a right person in this. That's where I think we have to lead with, and you and I both have managed many teams and many people. So it's not that we are new to like managing folks. I'm not in the service industry, but again, that's something you've done and you're around. So it's just I feel that Tumi shares with us, right? She's sharing like I have a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'm also a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
People of color there aren't a lot of people that look like me in this industry. Have you watched Below Deck? We know that's true. And we can name like 5 to 6, people of color that have been on this show.
Wow.
And Black people, are majority of those, but that's not saying much. And it's so unfortunate because again, this is my personal opinion, but I sometimes feel like and Lexi doesn't count. Lexi was a mess. But I feel like a lot of times there is microaggressions or even implicit biases that we will see come up when like women and men interact or people of color and interact. So I again feel like that is a thing, and I've definitely seen it. I mean, I've been a
Yeah.
recipient of it, but it's just that is where I think Tumi was coming from, because she comes in and she's like, listen, I'm already behind. I need to be basically perfect to for Captain Sandy to really like see me as worthy. Because again, if y'all know Captain Sandy, she is extremely hard on interior. It's just that is a
Yeah.
known thing. So that's number 2. And then I think number 3, Kyle, ran a little mouth about Nat. And I think just shares a lot about Natalia and who she is, and how she acted with Natasha last season. So I feel like all of that compounded with Natalia, feeling a type of way.
Rightfully so, though. Going from
Yeah.
chief stew to now third stew when
Why
she
is
did a
she?
good job.
I think that's wrong. I think she should be second and Kyle should be third. I will,
Definitely.
yeah, that is 100% a mistake. I don't understand it. I think that would give her a little bit more, her and Toomey a little bit more partnership to work with, and Kyle almost gets removed from that equation because I know that he's gonna be the match for that lights a lot of
Oh,
fires. So let's see. And we already start the little shade because they're both. It just felt cold their interaction together, and again, I want to say I feel that it's on both of them. It's not any one person. Whew.
And I was surprised that
Mhm.
Sandy didn't anticipate this and didn't
Right.
ask Luca as the bosun to show his like co-lead staff Tumi, the chief stew, around the boat so they can start forming a relationship, because that was not the original pairing she had, because she hired Rue to do that job. And
And
so as a team builder, based on what
yeah.
we've done professionally and personally, those are the things I was thinking, hoping, but you know what, Sasha? I'm here for the drama. I want to see the
Exactly. I was like,
fireworks.
they won't
I
allow
want to
it.
see Nat explode over the word organization. Like,
Okay. Because it gets crazy. First of all, Toomey's already coming in. It was a little shady what she said about Miami. Because
oh,
they're
that was
like,
the
oh, I'm
best.
coming from Miami. And
I would never
Natalia's
move
like,
there.
I live there. And Toomey's like, I'd never live there. Why? Let it be, Toomey.
But you know what, Sasha? I've experienced that. When you and I both lived in Oklahoma and people asked where I lived, that was always the immediate reaction they would say to me. I
Exactly.
would never live there.
And we're just like, yeah, cool. I think you can't get offended by everything. And that's where Natalia's like fault is, where I think she took everything personally when you are not the mayor of Miami. Like, you don't need, we're
She's not
okay.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, listen, all right. So it's just chill out a little bit. And of course, we get a moment of like, Toomey talks about how Kyle filled her in during the visa process. And that is when I was like, shit, why?
Yeah,
Why?
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, just stop it. And then we have the conversation. She's getting a tour of the boat, and Toomey sits down and says, wow, the organization is a shit show. I clutched my pearls a little bit.
Well, because before she said that, Toomey opened that silverware drawer that was the most
Yes,
disorganized thing I've ever seen.
horrible.
All just thrown in the drawer and then closed.
Y'all never heard of like a
The
divider?
divider.
Stop. And it's probably more expensive, right? Than other cutlery I own. I bet that.
I think that's what Toomey meant.
Oh, she did. She said that too. But she was like, no, I'm saying your work is impeccable, but you walked into a boat that is disorganized. But Natalia, I'm telling you,
She took it so
sometimes
personal.
yeah, and Lolly's correct, right? Like, so much for being okay with stepping down. I agree, because I think there was some kind of like ego, or like I already did this, why are you coming in here? You should only be kissing my feet, for stepping in.
And I think Captain Sandy does hold a lot of the blame, because I feel from the way I watched it, Natalia was trying to work really hard so she could get promoted to second stew
Yeah.
before Kyle arrived. And when that didn't
Oh,
happen, I think the chip on her shoulder was the size of the boat, because her hard work was not being acknowledged. So she was going to, like I said, rustle feathers to anyone who walked up. Anyone could have had that conversation and she would have reacted the exact same.
yeah. And then I don't appreciate being like, oh, stop with the hands. And then Toomey's like, don't get defensive. And they're just like going back and forth. I was like, are y'all serious? Because I look at me, I talk with my hands.
Big time. So I actually observed this happening in my workplace a few months ago.
Oh my God.
People, just someone who was taller, larger, talking to a smaller, more petite person like your size and using their hands. And the recipient of the hand waving stopped them and said, do exactly what Nat did. Do not wave your hands and talk to me like that. And it was really based on the difference in size,
Exactly.
in the intimidation factor. But when we're sitting down next to each other on the couch, you and I would get clocked by Nat every single minute.
Yeah.
Stop using your hands. Stop using your hands. Don't do this. We would drive
And
her
we
crazy.
have no poker face because we roll our eyes at everything, y'all. Not in us. But the thing is, and here's where I think Toomey's like chip exists, right? Where she's like, I gotta be focused, right? Like, because the thing is, we're forgetting Toomey is from Below Deck Down Under, where it was a hot mess. Okay, chef mess, one of the worst chefs we've seen, just like arrogant prick. And then and then Aisha in that moment, like her and Aisha had a great like Chiefs to, a second relationship, but it's almost like she saw how Aisha, her first time wasn't maybe the most like, making sure everyone's on their P's and Q's and speaking up when it needs to. So that's why I feel like that's where Toomey's coming from versus Nat, who her last season, her, and it was very much her versus Tosh and Kyle.
Mm,
to where she had to almost tell Sandy, like, I am working really hard and like I am, making sure everything's organized and set up, because that is something Captain Sandy had called out for the interior. They're not doing that. So to me, it's almost like they have so much baggage from their past that they're bringing into this, is
mm.
why I think this just was doomed from the start. And I do think Tumi has positional power, and she should have said, hey, thank you so much for doing everything,
Yeah.
and left it at that. And then later on been like, this boat is a shit show, but how amazing are you to fix that?
No, that's a really good point. And I was thinking, with their dynamic, I'm curious how Jessica plays a part in the dynamic. Because it sounds like Kyle has pre-existing relationships with both of them, but where is Jessica going to go? Is she now going to align with Natalie and create that like friendship, or is she going to follow Tumi's lead? And are they going to start excluding Natalia from different shifts or doing things to make her knowing that she could explode at any moment?
Yeah. I can see it going either way for Jess, right? Because Jessica says she's like a really great first follower. So I think if she's given the right tools, I think that it could go well. But the problem, I do feel it, again, this is speculation, is Kyle. And how
Mm,
will Kyle treat Jessica? Because we know Kyle and Toomey, I think, are gonna be closer. So I think that might, almost be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
okay.
together. So it's gonna be horrible. And Caitlin, yeah, I was about to say this too. You can
Oh,
tell
yeah.
that Chef is going to be playing favorites with Nat over Toomey. He keeps talking about how great Nat is, 1000%. Him and Toomey's interactions felt weird. I think he was like, again, it it felt like they were almost like, why do we need a new person?
Exactly.
That's the vibe I just kept getting over and over again. And painful to watch. And that's where we end it. But I did see the 7 minutes of the next episode, but I won't spoil too much. There's gonna be a lot of Toomey and Nat mess, like from jump, like a
Oh,
lot of
great.
name calling. Yeah, like a lot of
Ooh,
name calling, not to each other, but about each other. And we're gonna have a vegans as our next guest, so that's interesting.
nice.
And they're Black, so that's
Cool.
exciting. I always appreciate like when we get just more diversity in our actual charter guests as well. And the weather is going to be bad, which I think is gonna cause a lot of drama and stress.
I'm curious to see if there's any drama with the guests, if they're stuck inside with bad weather in the boat.
Yeah,
I
1000%.
cannot wait for next week's episode. I didn't realize that. Oh man.
Hmm.
And watching Chef make all these vegan entrees, really getting those Michelin stars.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, I tried being vegan for like 2 days. It was fine. So it's just, we'll see how that goes. And we did have
Mm.
like a few questions, that's comments, but before I get to them, Jason, anything else from the episode?
No, I thought it was really fun, and I'm
Yeah,
excited to
me
see where the
too.
drama goes next.
1000%. It's gonna get bad. Like I already saw the 7 minutes. Just I'll tell you, not to overhype. It's just I think it's gonna just get messy, and you need like a good leader to step in and almost like mediate
Mm.
quickly. So Caitlin asks, how do you feel about the chef compared to the chefs we've seen? I can't decide. He seems less crazy, but I can't get a feel for him. I think he is like stable, which is not easy to say about a lot of people, a lot of chefs we've seen. But I feel, and tell me what you think, Jason, that I think the Nat Toomey drama is where he's gonna show his ass.
I agree. I think he's going to be very vocal supporting that because I don't think anyone else will. But
Oh, okay, that's a good
and so
point.
he's going to try to step in to support her. But I think because of his temperament, I think he's above the drama actually. And so he's going to like really
Oh,
be restrained to try to go in and just like really go up to Toomey, say mean things to her face. And instead of gossiping at the bar, like most of the chefs do, like the only chef I can compare him to is Kevin,
mm-hmm.
with Captain Lee in that season with Kate. And they got in a vegan. I mean, I saw them just the other day get in the fight over order me a vegan appetizer. And it launched into a 30-minute fight. And so I
Yeah,
think
that's pretty
Jack is
normal.
way more calm.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's going to get as flustered.
Yeah, I don't exactly. I
But
think
I
it's
kind of
gonna
want him
be,
to.
yeah, listen, it's unfortunately fun. You've seen it when chefs go a little wild. Okay. And this lolly I really liked, but I
Ooh.
wanted to keep for the end. Wonder if because Sandy knew him, they tipped more and they didn't want to look bad. I think you're onto something, lolly, as always, every week.
100%. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Charter gets getting a little bit too much. Like we're on a TV show. I've watched this before. I need to act this way. It's pissing me off a little bit. Let's get some recruits, please. Okay, not on the other shows, but on this show, I want recruits because they're gaming a little too much. I feel so. I agree with you, Lolly. And for Caitlyn also had maybe the bunks. It looks like it might be Jess and Tumi, which listen, maybe that adds to like their camaraderie.
Yeah.
Laura and Haley, which we knew, yeah, and Kyle and the new person.
Okay. The new
Let's see.
deckhand.
Yeah, the new deckhand. So let's see. I think this is gonna be wild either way. We're waiting for hookups, right? We know why we're here. Very much
And,
for that.
and I want to hear Sandy give commentary on everything that's happening.
Please.
Does she? I mean, does she at
Yes.
least tell
They
us, like in the
used to
confession,
do
how
that.
wild everyone is?
No, because they're not
Ugh.
really gonna see. She's not gonna see much, right? So I don't think so. And with that, I do have some social media drama. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Nat, so Below Deck Bravo posted, Tumi talks everything about her first Chief 2 journey, right? Like it's a video. Okay. So, and I guess she's sharing her pet peeves on the video. And Natalia commented and says, "My biggest pet peeve is when someone lets a certain person influence their opinion on someone even before meeting them." Blue heart. Another comment. "My other pet peeve would be ungrateful people who can't even say thank you for holding down the fort for 4 days while being crewed down, while setting up a boat while running on no sleep."
Nat is shooting on public social media for everyone to see and comment and like. Oh,
Yep.
she's still real salty. When's the reunion?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna I think it's bad between them. I think it's bad blood. It sounds like I don't believe this is true, okay? But do we think that freaking Nat gets fired somehow? Cuz like how can you have so much vitriol if you haven't watched the show?
I would love to see that. Does she cause so much drama? Because she did talk about getting evicted in this episode,
Right.
which made me think she might quit if it doesn't go her way.
Oh, she might quit. You know what? That you're right. I think it might be more of a quit than firing because I don't see Captain Sandy firing her. So let's see. I don't know. I think this is gonna be messy. Also, one more really silly and fun one from last season. So Chef Zarina posted a picture and
Mm.
a really like great caption, right, of like the crew and how great they are. And so okay, right? Doesn't matter. It's a picture, a selfie with all of them. Okay. She's tagged everyone, right? Margot, Culver, even Culver, Harry, Luca, Jay, everyone's tagged. And then the tag over Joao's face. Guess what it says, everyone? 0_nonsense_therapy.
I thought you were just going to say fake because I did watch that episode when she called Joelle fake.
0 nonsense therapy. Oh my God.
Is this something that normally happens so far after the season airs that they're still posting social media and getting in fights over?
Mhm.
Really? Oh, this
Yeah.
show's great.
So
Oh, man.
good. And then because then stuff might happen at BravoCon or when they hang out with each other. Yeah. It's multiple options for drama is the point. I like the challenge, right? Where they're all like
For sure.
get irritated. And Caitlin asks, did we see any firings at Lolly? Answered. There basically the line is as Lolly said, you've been yelling since you stepped on this boat, which I do believe is Kyle. I think that is meant for Kyle. But I just wonder if we get some version of a quit, maybe. I think I'm leaning more because I don't even say fire anymore. But it's just, why is she so salty? I don't know. I
She's
feel like
she's
something's
hungry.
up.
She wants to sleep in a better bed. She misses her
Right.
friends. Those are reasons to quit, right?
Listen,
It's
nicotine.
Wednesday.
Yes. So we'll see. All right, everyone. It's just this is my speculation. And if you stayed until the end, and if y'all wanted to know, I did see rumors, Zen, if you're here, that Aisha, I believe, comes back for next season
Ooh.
of Below Deck Med as a chief. But vibes only. It is not substantiated. So don't, hold that like for real, for real. But I did call Tumi. I said it in my heart, and Tumi was here. So maybe I'm a manifester. I don't know.
Big
So
time.
with that, anything else, Jason?
No, this has been great. I love talking about my new favorite show. It's so fun. I still have 25 episodes on my DVR of old seasons to
Yes.
watch. So the next time we talk, I'm going to have so much more knowledge and
Oh, so
historical things to
excited.
reference.
Yes, and we'll see you in a month. Oh my god. Anyway, I will. But if you're gonna be in LA, get your shot wheel ready, baby. We're all gonna be there. And with that, Jason, where can the people find you?
You can find me in the Twitter streets at The Real JO, where I'm posting about the show Below Deck Med, of course, Survivor, other reality shows, and the Dallas Cowboys, playoff bound Texas Rangers, and my alma mater, the Kansas Jayhawks. What about
Shout
you,
out.
Sasha? Where can people find you? Does anyone listening know?
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you can find me as always on Mess Magnets, where we're covering celebrity gossip, hot topics, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. We're talking about it all on Rob as a website /mess feed. And in addition to Below Deck over on Rob as a podcast, I'm also talking, or I just talked Big Brother. Honestly, the most
That show's still on?
unhinged,
I'm just kidding.
100 days. So I talked Below Deck. I was on with Taryn and Mary doing the veto recap. Honestly, I don't know what the episode was. There were tears, there were scares, you name it, it was there. All right. Check that out. And for everything else I'm doing, of course, just follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. Thank you, chat. You're amazing as always. We'll see you again next week at a regularly scheduled time with our chief entertainment officer. And with that, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.